Welcome to Viking Spotlight. This is a podcast about people, events, and projects in the North Canton City School District. I'm your host, Jeff Wendorf, and today we're thrilled to be talking to Greentown Intermediate Principal Ryan Kumpf. Greentown Intermediate has about 500 students currently in grades 3 through 5 and is located on State Street in the northern part of our school district. Welcome to our podcast, Ryan.
Thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Yeah, good. This is fun. This will be a blast. So we've not had many elementary folks, K-5 folks on. I think we had your counselor a few weeks ago.
You did,
and talked to her. The only thing we missed when we had her was her dog.
Chase.
Chase. But our Greentown families, they already know you. But why don't you tell us a bit about yourself from the other families in North Canton?
Sure. I'm a lifelong Stark County resident. I got my bachelor's degree from Walsh, master's degree from Akron, superintendency license from Kent State. This is my 18th year in education. 10 of those have been at North Canton, 11 years in administration. I was also at Green Local and Plain Local for a period of time. I live in North Canton. I've been married to my wife, Megan, for 17 years. She's a part-time educational assistant over at Orchard Hill. I have two daughters, Kaylee, she's a freshman at Hoover High School, and Reagan, she's a sixth grader. And then when I'm not doing all this principal stuff, I'm coaching basketball and lacrosse for our youth programs.
Yeah, great. So you're kind of busy.
Yeah, you could say that.
Just a dad of those age kids will keep you busy enough, let alone with your job as an administrator and all the things you're doing. But one of the things you might be most known for outside of Greentown is your snow day videos. Tell us a little bit about that. How'd you get started?
I think I just saw a principal doing it on social media, and I thought I could have some fun with that. And it's fun. It puts a little more added pressure on me, I think, now that those snow days roll around. I get some text messages and emails when I don't have it out by 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. People wondering where it's at. But you know, my favorite thing about it is I always get at least one message from a parent that has a high schooler, and you know, they say that their senior woke up and the first thing they asked for was, "Is Mr. Kumpf put on his snow day video?" Yeah. So I do have fun with them. It's fun to get the kids looking at the video, and then I usually try to put the music in for the parents.
Right. Yeah. And you have a good choice in music. I can tell you that. And you used to do more than one a year, or did you ever? It seemed like you did, but you always did just the first snow day.
I always just do the first snow day of the year. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And you're right. I do see some other social media accounts of other principals and superintendents. One guy that I follow out in Western Ohio does he makes you think his dog does it, and you know, is the dog going to turn left for a snow day or right for a school day?
There you go.
Things like that. So
my dog made it in last year's video.
Right. Yeah. That's good. Well, that's fun stuff. And you've done your announcements through video for a long, long time, and have kind of geared away from that just because of details that you're not able to give in a video that you can in a text or in a written format. But you've always done that, so you're skilled at some video stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, we're keeping the videos to just some of our more important details now. Yep, but it's been fun.
Good. Well, Greentown's been an excellent achievement scores and things in your building on your report card. What do you think contributes to the academic success in your building?
I don't think that there's one blueprint to follow. I think that there's a lot of different buildings and a lot of different personalities, but there's three things that I think really stand out to me as being kind of the focus area. Number one, student-centered approach. From the time that the kids come in the building until the time that they leave, we're focused on their academic, their emotional, their behavioral, their social support, and really just pouring into their student-centered, things that are happening here at the building. And then number two, it's kind of 2A, 2B, flexibility and trust. I really think that our staff, I give them, hopefully they feel that way anyways, the ability to do what they want, the ability to think outside the box, to really kind of pour themselves into their classroom, and really just to show them that I trust them, and that mutual trust is important for the staff. And then number three is probably actually back to, it could be number one too, but it's people, and people are the most important. John Gordon has a book, it's called The Energy Bus, and you want to get the right people on the bus in the right seat. And I think we've done that at Greentown, and it really shows by our data's great, our scores are great, but at the end of the day, it's about people.
Yep. great book, applies to lots of different sectors. But I one of my favorite people to quote is John Gordon, and all the books that he wrote, not only The Seed and The Carpenter and all those, but The Energy Bus is certainly his first and the best one, I think. But,
he's great.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about values a lot in your building and things, and your building has done a lot with community service, and community service is an important part of your building. And at the end of every 9 weeks, you and your staff participate in some kind of service project. Tell us about the types of projects that you've done, and how did they begin?
Yeah, so this is our 7th year of doing service projects, and they're happening every quarter, first, second, and third. End of the year is kind of hard because there's a lot of other stuff going on, but really it was just started to create opportunities to experience empathy for our students and to develop that servant's heart, a desire to put others' needs before our own. And in some cases, that was also me kind of looking at myself and trying to do some things. The school building, the school community is such a hub for our community that we can help so many people. And so we have, and we've, over the 7 years, we've helped Compassion Delivered, Ronald McDonald House, Akron Children's Hospital, Meals on Wheels, My Comfy Kits, Simply Give, Gigi's Playhouse, Refuge of Hope, Humane Society, Girls on the Run, North Canton Food Pantry, First Christian Church, St. Luke's, Stark County Food Bank, and our local fire, police, and EMS. And we're just happy to do it, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's great. Well, obviously the community is a better place because of Greentown Intermediate and your leadership. And so thank you to you and your staff and your kids for all you've done for all those groups, and certainly from the community and the district. Thank you for being the leader in our district for that kind of organized help. And we have a lot of people that do it all the time. And one of the other ways that happens a lot is the St. Baldrick's piece. And you're the front runner in the district typically as far as Greentown.
Yes.
Yeah. As far as St. Baldrick's. And we've been doing it. Gosh, Mr. Pilati has shared last time we had him on about St. Baldrick's, and I guess it was last year about this time. And tell us about Greentown's leadership in St. Baldrick's.
Yeah, you'd think I'd shy away from something where you're shaving your head because I don't have any hair to shave.
Your headphones aren't going to mess up your hair today, though.
But it's another opportunity for us to make an impact. I have 2 kids of my own, and I can't imagine walking in those shoes as a parent. It's a team approach. We're all in it together. We make it competitive. I do have some incentives for the kids and our staff, but at the same time, we talk about it almost every day from January through March. And in the past 5 years, we've raised over $130,000, which is amazing for a little school like us to be able to do something like that on a big stage for helping defeat childhood cancer. Right.
It's a great program. All of our buildings participate in that, and I think Mr. Pilati shared the total for the district, but with $100,000 coming from Greentown alone is phenomenal. And I keep my hair pretty short as well, so I've participated in the past, but now I just donate.
Yes,
so it's no big deal for me to buzz my head, but
there you go.
Some others do. We've had young ladies and adult ladies and everybody in between. Participating in that, whether it's to actually shave or to raise money or to donate money. So
sure,
very worthwhile effort. So yeah,
it's a great cause, and we're happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, cool, good stuff. We're on the verge of opening 2 new buildings, PK2 and 3-5, of course, a new North Canton Intermediate. And some people are asking, what's the name of the building going to be? And that's just it, North Canton Intermediate. And so we're not going to name it after somebody or a street. So we'll just have all of our 3-5 kids in the grades 3 through 5 kids in North Canton Intermediate. And you're going to be the principal and the leader of that building. And we've been sharing a little bit about changes in the calendar this spring to prepare for that move. And what kind of things will the staff be doing to prepare for the fall?
It's an awesome opportunity for our kids and our community. I feel blessed in this position. It's a little nerve-wracking at times here, especially as we get into some of the nuts and bolts here, but it's really just like moving your family. But you've got 4 or 5 people in your family, and now you're moving 120 people.
Right.
But you're packing up rooms, you're purging closets, tagging items for auction. There's going to be collaborating with new teams, developing some curriculum, planning schedules, placing students. We got to develop our PBIS and behavior management programs. and then also working with our PTOs as they combine as well for that transition. So there's a lot that goes into it, a lot that I haven't even scratched the surface on, but it's going to be fun because we've got a lot of great people, and we have a lot of staff members that are just willing to do what's best for our community.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening in the last year as far as not only the building, that's one piece, but you're right about staff. I know that you and the curriculum team have been working on staff teams and those things. That'll be announced here shortly in the next few weeks to the faculty to say who's going to be where and when what team. And of course, we ask them for their input. And
sure.
I'd say the vast majority, if not nearly all, staff are going to be placed where they requested, and on what team and subject and grade level and such. And I appreciate your work and the curriculum team's work to get that going.
Yeah, and I just keep coming back to one thing, and I share this with parents and staff members. There's one population of people that don't care who the teachers came from or where they came from, and that's our kids. They're just they're going to be happy no matter what, and our job is to serve them, obviously, and whatever those teams look like, the kids are going to be ready to go, so we got to be ready to go with them.
That's right. Yep, great approach there. And you're going to have an opportunity to interview just in the coming weeks and to help select an assistant principal. And Mrs. Howard is going to retire this year. That's been announced and so on. So the second principal or assistant principal will be in yours. So we wish you all the best in selecting the right person for that, and I'm sure you will. And we're all on the same team, but I assume that we'll have somebody great in that spot too for another second leadership.
Absolutely,
role.
Looking forward to having somebody to work with.
Well, you've been sharing some information about moving to the new building, but you've also kind of been honoring Greentown Intermediate and that Greentown building. Tell us about how you've been honoring the past in recent weeks and months with Greentown.
Yeah, we've just been trying to focus on sharing some old pictures that have been in the library and the yearbooks. I think they go back into the 40s and 50s, so just trying to take some pictures out of there to share on our Facebook page so people can kind of see the history. The original building was built in 1928, and then we had an addition in 1955 and then 2002 as well. So there's a lot of different pieces and parts to the building itself. But one of the cool things that a lot of people don't know about is there's kind of a tunnel underneath the very first hallway, and that's where our storage and boiler room are. But back in the day, it used to be a locker room because believe it or not, even though it's the smallest gym in the district, used to have dances and basketball teams played there. And you can actually go through some of the tunnels and you find there's an old coach's office in the very depth of the building. And as you come out of you have to duck. I think people were a lot shorter back in 1928. But there's ductwork right outside the door, and it has the names of kids who hit their head on the ductwork as they were leaving the coach's office. So
I'll be darned.
I added my name because I hit my head. So.
Yes. Well, that's neat, and what a neat old building, and a neat smaller community, Greentown, of course.
Absolutely.
And just for our listeners, that we'll make sure and pass those memorabilia along as we can to either Historical Society or Alumni Association or whomever is most appropriate. But we'll make sure and continue to honor the past and so on. And just to note also for our listeners that that building is on where there's two options for the building. One is to sell it as is. The board's considering that, especially with the cost of abatement and demolition. And then that's the second choice, is to abate and demo it and then sell the property or keep the property. The board has not made that particular decision yet, but those are the two options that we have. So they'll be making those in the next month or so. Yeah. So just so our listeners understand what's on track for Greentown Elementary.
And we will have a community night too, at least one where the community can come in and kind of say their goodbyes as a school building anyways.
Right. Find their locker and say, I was one. We probably won't let them in the tunnels.
Yeah,
but
probably not.
Find it. Hey, I hit my head on a tunnel in the tunnel. Yeah,
yes.
Good stuff. And we'll also be doing that at the other buildings too, at certainly at Claremont and Orchard Hill and the ECC Mary Evans building. So so that's great stuff. So we certainly appreciate the things that you've done at the building, and let's talk a little bit about I guess curriculum and Greentown has done remarkable in testing and those things, and if testing is the the end or the whole thing. But, the kids do pretty well from Greentown. And you mentioned your things that you do to be flexible and to have high expectations for everybody. But we had a chance to hear Jim Tressel as principals and as administrators previously, and you've kind of incorporated the Tressel 5 in yours. Can you tell us about what you've done over the years to try to incorporate values and high expectations for kids?
Yeah, I'm not sure if my staff always appreciates it because I'm switching things up every year, but that's our focus this year, the Tressel 5. It's just a way for us to be able to focus, I guess pinpoint focus the students each year, and it talks about grit and work ethic and a lot of things that are a part of our values. But the one thing that we changed this year is I share it almost weekly on my weekly updates with parents, the Tressel 5, and we've encouraged parents to use that vocabulary at home too, just because we see so many differences between kids today and even 10 years ago, right. And we just really want to kind of promote that at the home setting too, so that we're both working together.
Right. It's not just a school thing or just a home thing. It's a life thing.
Absolutely.
And, incorporating those 5 or 4 district values and those kind of things, it's the more we talk about it, the more we explain it, the more we are able to display it. And quite truthfully, to be able to show them what exactly it is it's certainly learned at a higher level and demonstrated. And so thank you for that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, your leadership has done remarkable things, and wish you the best at the intermediate next year and the move for this summer. Hopefully you get away a little bit this summer, but it'll be active. And we're going to move basically 1,000 kids to a new building.
Yeah,
and a lot of staff and your office too. So
yeah, true. Yes.
So
it'll be busy, but it'll be fun.
It'll be a blast. Yeah, it'll be exciting. So, and we're going to do that times 2. So we got the PK2 coming along as well. So anything else you want to share with us about Greentown or about Ryan Kumpf?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the podcast. And Jeff, just thanks for everything you would do as our superintendent. I know that it can be a thankless job, and I appreciate your guidance and leadership. And I'm just looking forward to bigger and brighter things here for North Canton City Schools.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And it's a matter of always getting better, right? And
Correct.
I appreciate your lean towards continuous improvement and the coaching approach. And so it's everybody can get better every day. And if we each do it a little bit every day, it'll be a much better place, much better world. So
yes.
Yep. Thank you for your leadership, and we wish you all the best.
Absolutely.
Thanks to our listeners for joining us today. This podcast is a great way for us to share information about the school district with our residents and families. If you have any questions about our podcast or want to suggest a topic for us to cover, please email us at vikingspotlight@northcantonschools.org. Once again, that's vikingspotlight@northcantonschools.org. We also welcome your thoughts about Greentown Intermediate and Mr. Ryan Kumpf. And so thanks again for joining us, and we wish all our listeners well, and go Vikings.